Everybody, what up? Good morning. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Brothers Legacy.
Oh, look at he taking a chance. Go ahead on here.
No, what I'm saying, listen, I'm primary education is necessary. Primary education is necessary. A lot of the basics that are taught, the reading, the math, the comprehension, is necessary to function in our society, and
All right.
the higher the level you can get, the more articulate you can be, the better use of wordage matters. It helps with conversation, debates. That I can articulate my point. Um,
Flip that
I'm
coin.
I'm I'm
Flip that coin.
100%. You said what?
Flip that coin.
Flip- yeah, but this
But
having to be there for a certain amount of days, the time spent in school doing a lot of nothing, and my teachers come holler at me. They already know it. They're the nothing moments. Like, why are we here? Why are we here for this? It's a lot of nothing and bureaucracy. Am I saying the right? Bureaucracy. Like just cause it's a lot of just cause. Without real standard. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
because real talk, for a while, it was like, man, I wish if I could just get my head and navigate this, I'd pull them out of public school and probably did like homeschooling, like real talk, because they would just be getting just solid education. Because it ain't the education, it's just the educational system. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
shout out to teachers that take a lot of stuff for low pay. Shout out to teachers that deal with unreasonable parents. So understand, I'm with you, teachers. But I don't like the system. I don't like the system, and their hands are tied. Why? I got to do what the system says, or I lose funding. I need this funding to make payroll, to pay people, to keep the school functioning. So whatever rules they got, I gotta follow. That's my problem. That's my issue. And this goes all the way up to the federal level, and this attacks both sides. My bad. People are commenting. Good morning. What's up, Jeff? What's up, Lisa? What's up, Mama Corey? What up, Reese? So yeah, definitely like
The faithfuls,
now
man.
people's in, yeah, my faithful people in the
faithfuls,
building.
man. We gotta have an appreciation show for the faithfuls, man.
Yeah,
Appreciation show,
To
man.
that,
Sense
yeah.
of love to them. I'm only here one day a week, and they clocking in, so I appreciate. Yeah, they are, man.
Even with the 2-hour delay.
With the 2-hour delay, the weather, they still tuning in.
They still tuning in. Get the government out of schools. I'm with you, Reese. I'm with you on that. I know.
I don't see how that
get the government out of school.
That don't make sense to me though.
I mean, like how to because you're right, because there's only two systems of thought, right? There's government, or is it privatization? Because that's pretty much how our country kind of functions. There's no real middle, I mean, even if someone starts a nonprofit, they gotta get money from somewhere. Like, so are we gonna individually contribute, or they go after government grants?
They go to the public schools, right?
Right.
Either way,
Pay for school funding. Right. And everybody, for the most part, kind of with it, like, you want to educate your children, everybody kind of shares the burden of the educational system. It's just, there's just need to be a shifting in the way things are done. Not saying ours was better, but I felt like ours seemed like they made a little more sense. It seemed like it's gotten worse. Our system wasn't great, but it kind of like, okay, we got books, it made sense. All right. My people are quiet. They're like, you know what? I'm not chiming in on this. You're not about to suck me in.
Yeah,
it's too early, man. It's too early. This is a heavy topic, man.
I'm glad you showed your transparency about the school system. I mean,
yeah,
I got my own opinion that school system primary
yeah,
is definitely necessary and needs to be had for the foundation of learning, especially early learning, pre-K, kindergarten, like kindergarten. I mean, elementary.
Yeah,
all the Head Start. I think those are just like fundamentally to a default. You need that. don't get me wrong. I mean, I know there are some parents in the United States that are great at homeschooling, but you probably or have other avenues of income where you can have that luxury of teaching your child exactly what you want them to know. You know what I'm
Oh
saying? Like
yeah,
you are structuring their mind exactly how you want it to be structured because
oh
you have
yeah, yeah, 100%.
financial freedom to do so. You know what I'm saying? But
100%. I mean,
I,
I'm not saying and understand like I'm not even going to the financial literacy. I'm not
no, I'm not talking
that's a
about.
no.
I'm
I
just
know. I'm saying
saying
like teaching exactly what want to be taught. My beef is just the structure of how they just do the simple stuff. Now and I know I'm joking about the 2 hour delay. I'm fine with the 2 hour delay because they're protecting our children. You know, there's things that the school does that's like, oh, I hate it, but I get it. You know, I'm with the safety. I'm with, going. I'd rather you go above than you ignore it. You know, I'd rather
yeah,
you do something, even if even if it protects like 25% of the kid, because it's about 25% of the kids doing something as opposed to ignoring it and 25% are exposed. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm cool. I'm cool with that stuff. It's just like it's just the small stuff. And I can get into the larger part, but it's the small stuff like the days. Like, why are we still here? And we've done the test, we've done the teaching, like, and teachers like, yeah, we've done the curriculum. It's a waste of time.
if you
That's my beef.
if you
There are
look at
things
it
that
like
just a
that,
waste. Go ahead.
well, if you can look at it like that, but I look at the social aspect of it also learning. You're looking at the
Right.
waste of time, but that time that Tamika is talking to Jonathan, that's social building skills for the future. That
I'm
time
with you.
that they doing it's not because if you homeschooling, that's just my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Never been homeschooled. Don't nobody know who do homeschool.
Right.
I'm just going off my mind.
I'm with you. Let's go.
If you
Sorry,
homeschool
Matt.
your child, your child doesn't develop the social skills with other kids they age. You know what I'm saying? Like only social skills they learning is from if they have siblings or if they have other, outings where they can't interact with other kids. You know what I'm saying? But if you on that day-to-day level acting with other kids, you started building social etiquette that way. Hey, such and such did this. You can come home and talk to your parents. Well, if you want, if your child is like that, they come home and talk to their parents. Bobby did this, and he was very
Well,
mean to the teacher. You know what I'm saying? It's
right.
just
I get what you're saying. I mean, it kind of throws me, you, and Matt into a pot where we wouldn't interact any other time. Like we never would have met each other. Like and side note, we ain't meet each other in school. I'm just, for example, like y'all met in school? How long you been on each other? Oh, we never like there's so many realms of connection that I mean I agree with you, because oh, he's so silly.
that's the funniest thing you said all day, boy.
we, you know what? We didn't what you call it, meet in school, but it's those connections matter, right? You wouldn't have your first girlfriend. You met, certain thing. You met your first bully. You dealt with your first traumatic experience in school, like how to deal with stuff in school. I feel you on that. The reason I considered homeschooling was just the waste of time. That's my only beef. And when it comes to the time wasted in sitting in certain classes, like I talk to my children, like they got like this 0 period, they're just sitting, right? And I understood this 0 period. They call
That's that new style. I ain't never heard.
listen, zero. All of it's new. All of it's new. 0 period.
They got new math, right?
Right. See, and honestly, like, okay, so we got two things of thought. I'm glad Reese responded. I'm gonna read his comments, but I'm not exactly going in that space at right now. I'm just talking about the small things that in private sector you get fired for failing in government. It's a race to the middle. Teachers not fired for 65% dropout rates. That's hard. That's hard. Like it's a lot of things. It's environment. It's what's going on in the school. Like there's a lot of space. Like dropping out was never as bad as hard as it was for me in school. Dropping out was never a thought. It was never a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like dropping out. They don't do that. You stick this joint out till the end. He said we tried. So Jeff said we tried homeschooling for 3 years. I don't think it was real successful in our case.
Case by case.
Yeah. And let's see, Reese says get public worker unions out. Yeah, I don't agree with that. They use dues as political power to enrich themselves and not helping children. That's that's up for debate. So that's true, because True Kaneem, that's exactly correct. I guess like the non-social. I was gonna push back because I've heard studies that it's not necessarily true. But like just what Matt said, case by case. Let's see. He said that's one of the major drawbacks. You end up with an axe murderer for a kid.
If you homeschool him?
If homeschool. I don't know about that. So Reese, I've got Reese for this. Not true. My niece and nephew are all homeschooled. 4 of them, all very social and well behaved. Now, I guess that kind of gives Kaneem a point because he said 4 of them. So there's brothers and sisters, or they're all there together. So there is a smaller climate, but it's a social climate still there. Now, for those with 1 child, homeschooling, who knows? But you have, I feel like if homeschooling is your programming, right, you're going to consider social time. Like you get out into friends, you go to the park. You understand what I'm saying? You create a social climate, because that's what I would do. Like, okay, we're going out. We're going to meet some friends. Let's practice. And I think social skills might grow quicker because I'm there trying to teach, like, this is social class. Like I'm creating a new class. Like this is networking class. This is how you network and talk to others and create friends. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not trying to throw the whole school business out. I'm just saying for the waste of time, the certain nuances about school. So today we're talking about transparency versus vulnerability.
We finally got there.
See how we just slid that in on you? See that?
That was good.
Appreciate you guys.
That was good.
Thank you guys for rocking with us. Another edition of Brothers of Legacy. To my left, right is my brother like no other, Mr. Matt Genius in the building. And below me is Mr. Kaneem, aka
That's right.
Zero. All right.
Zero to hero.
So let me know in the comments if you've ever heard Mr. Zero's music. And that's not Kaneem. If you're thinking, that's Kaneem? No, that's not Mr. Kaneem.
No, not my nickname. I might give it to y'all one day. That ain't it.
She said, did I send a comment? Let's see.
Yeah, that's right.
You did. You did, right? Kaneem?
Did she send it?
Yeah, you did. Just is coming through.
From yesterday.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't see it. So
we're going to get to it, Mama Cora. We promise.
Talking about the comment from yesterday's show?
I can listen.
She sent a comment, but I don't know
if you want to I'm going to read some comments and you want to throw it in there. Listen, I'm never stuck on my topics. I can always switch. It's all about what you got. You might have something juicier than I got. And you don't ever, throw your question in there. We'll start talking. Just throw it in there. We can share,
please. For
you especially, because you don't throw a lot of crazy stuff. So I know it'd be great. I know get you a mic off. He said, I met Matt, I know, and met Eminem. He said, maybe you two can do a mic off.
Okay.
You talking about me and Eminem?
Yeah.
Okay.
He said, "Oh goodness,
we are not the same. We are not the
same." It's all good, Reese. I opened it up. Listen, and I just, we started talking about it before I started, so it's cool. I wanted to kind of talk about it. So I'm gonna do my intro real quick, so I can set up for my podcast, and then we're gonna come right back and we'll talk about transparency versus vulnerability, or we'll be talking about what Mama Corey wants to share.
Yeah.
I'm interested. Listen, it's all about you, Mama Corey. I'm interested. All right, be right back.
2 and 2.
All right.
I like the new intro, man. That's good.
Thank you, brother.
I knew you had skills, man. I appreciate you putting them on display there, brother.
All right, so we're talking about transparency versus vulnerability. So,
Did we get that comment in yet?
She didn't throw it up there yet. But Jeff said, question: when Trump becomes president in 2024, will Kaneem need Matt's services?
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you for that calling me crazy. You know? All right, appreciate that,
All right. So transparency versus vulnerability. He said so. Richard said vulnerability is the new authentic, and transparency is good up to a point until it transgresses personal privacy. Okay, that's interesting. So for me, I look at transparency versus vulnerability. Transparency being, I'm open, like we talked about school. Like I'm just open about certain situations and topics, and just, hey, I'm gonna be transparent. This is how I feel about this thing. He said, "Wow, Jeff, don't do them like that."
Hey, Jeff always taking digs at me. It's all good. It is all good.
That's because he never met zero.
Right.
That's a good one too.
And to me, like transparency is just kind of showing, I would say, like your true colors about things and just being open. Like, yeah, this is this and this is that. I think vulnerability, is more or less talking about your weaknesses or, things that expose you. Like I'm afraid of the dark or something like that, or just the vulnerable parts of who I am, and then it makes you vulnerable to someone's response. So Matt, how would you look at that?
Great. I'm glad you put me in. Put me in, coach. Put me in. The educational conversations, not that I don't want to comment on it, man. I just have a lot of opinions, and I know if I get started, I know you do. I won't stop, man. I won't stop. This one is a great topic because I think we can bridge the gap between these two very easy.
Okay.
That versus, just take that out and put and. And that's it. I think when you put two similar ideas against each other, you make it seem like we have to choose one or lose. Which team are you on? Right. And I don't think it's necessarily about picking one for the better. I think they both work in tandem with each other. Right. Transparency, when I think about just the word, I think about something that you can see through, or the allowance of the clarity to see. It's transparent. I can see. Transparency, if I had it, that means I'm allowing you to see facets of me that I wouldn't normally show you. Vulnerability is, I think, a little bit deeper because it brings you closer. I can be transparent in a group setting, but vulnerability needs me to pull everybody and everything around me closer and allowing them to get some authenticity in me that I wouldn't normally put out there because of the level of transparency up to a level. And then I think it rolls over into vulnerability. So we all need it, and I think sometimes what we may be guilty of is making vulnerability something weak, something, something feminine, something, that's not necessarily aligned with masculine principles. Vulnerability is a space where we can almost liken it to intimacy. In fact, it is a part of intimacy. This is not something that we just give. Vulnerability is in our language, our verbal, nonverbal. When you're vulnerable, people can tell, and I think sometimes when the wrong person can tell you're vulnerable, they'd be like, oh, shoot, Birdman hands, they see it as a weakness. And then that's how sometimes people can get in situations where you're being taken advantage of. But vulnerability isn't a weakness, man. It's a superpower that when you know how to use it effectively, it will increase and enhance any of your relationships. It will be good for your body, for your mind, for your emotions, because the vulnerability allows you to get certain things out in spaces where you are now comfortable enough to be able to communicate those things that, may often just sit inside because, we don't have the safety enough to say it. We don't have the environment enough to be vulnerable to say those things or to listen to those things. Even vulnerability isn't just speaking, it's listening as well.
Right.
You know, certain conversations are hard to hear, you know, and so you got to have some level of vulnerability to let that information in. You can be like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Nah.
Right.
I ain't trying to, you know, you may not be in that space. And so it's learning how to allow both to work together and removing the verses out of them so that we won't have to be on either or. It could be both and, or one and then the other later, you know.
Right.
But it doesn't have to be, you know, opposing ideas to choose.
Right. Okay. That's good. I like the fact that you said that, like the transparency and vulnerability as opposed to opposing ends, you know, of that space. Because I don't know when I had. Okay. Sorry guys. 2-hour delay.
2 hours. Yeah.
Wow. My son is going to the bus. So he said we can all be transparent. That is a form of honesty, vulnerability. If in the wrong hands, your trust of others. He said, Richard says, but trust and confidentiality are crucial. Jeff says, absolutely. When being vulnerable, a person becomes very honest, and showing truth about oneself creates a safe space for all. Let's see. I wanted to get another comment. He said, what about on a need to know only basis? I mean, you know, you share as much as you're comfortable sharing within the space that you're in or the people that you're talking to. And granted, like if Kaneem has said, you know, put something out there, I might have a question. Like, so what happened with this and this? And then what happened with, you know, and he might be like, I don't want to share all that. You know, like there comes the point like, yeah, that's a little hard to share. Like, and you know, especially on this public platform, sometimes, you know, we get into certain conversations, and I get curious and I ask or whatever, and there's the, you know, I don't want to share that on camera.
Yeah, you know? and I think that is the transparency portion of it. And you know, you can see how it's both. You know, I think these words are too similar, and the English language doesn't necessarily give you way to really parse out these words, you know. And you can, if you want to go to the etymology of it all, but just on our basic understanding, you know, transparency isn't necessarily far from what vulnerability is. Vulnerability just sounds more intimate.
Yeah.
You know, transparency sounds more, you know, more corporate and public. You know, it's just the terminology you use, you know, like transparency meaning, is the information clear? You know, do you understand? Or transparency could also mean I want to be able to show you parts that I have not shown.
Right. You know? I was just thinking that.
So the language of it all could, you know, cause people to be like, well, I'm only transparent. You know, I could be when it's both. You know, it's the context that kind of brings it out of all of us. You know, on this platform, it's easy to be transparent because we're communicating, and sometimes you have to share stories that allow certain transparency to be seen. Right.
True.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm pulling you in close to a vulnerable space. It could. It could. But it doesn't have to mean that.
That's good.
It doesn't have to mean that, you know. So when I'm vulnerable, it's a selective audience. You know, it's a selective audience that I've already built enough trust, enough safety, enough, you know, alliance to where I feel like all of those things that were mentioned in the comments, as far as, you know, need to know, you know, being betrayed and all that stuff. That's not a question in the space that I'm being vulnerable. I know you enough to allow that vulnerability to be seen.
Right.
If I don't have that, you know, relationship with you, then I don't have no business being vulnerable with you.
Man, tell it, man. Tell it. What you talking about, man?
You know
what I'm saying? I'm transparent with everybody.
Right.
You know? I'm vulnerable with a few.
There you go.
Right.
There you go.
That's good.
Tell it.
Good. Jeff says transparency is a form of being genuine and honest. Indeed. You know, because and it's so funny. I was thinking about some transparency as you was talking, Matt, like with corporate or people. They're just, you know, I'm transparent. I'm an open book. You can ask me anything
as it relates to work. Right? So
how's your marriage going? Wait, whoa, brother.
See, too much information, man. I don't know you like that.
Yeah, somebody said you had herpes. Is that true?
Oh, right. We'll go ahead and get HR on the phone real quick.
You know what I'm saying? Is this an appropriate question?
Yeah, be vulnerable with that.
I can't with you, Kadeem. He said my ex-wife revealed I secretly love romantic comedies. I never hear about that.
She was being vulnerable, bro. She's being vulnerable.
Right.
You know, like letting you. Hey, I know I said it earlier, but I do have another meeting to get to.
Yeah. Oh, it's 9:30.
9:30.
I did all this talking about school. We're gonna talk about school later.
Have a good one, man.
Let's get some teachers on the conversation too, man. Next time.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah,
All right. So yeah, definitely that vulnerability. You know, because I don't know. I thought it was. I looked at it like two kind of polar opposites. You know, as far as vulnerability and transparency, like, but then I guess, you know, breaking it down and really looking at it, this one and the same, you know, being transparent, and then I guess vulnerability is like the next level, because it's like it's always cool. Kadeem, I'm transparent. I'm like a book, you know. It's another thing like, hey, Kadeem, I'm very vulnerable. I can share my vulnerability. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I know like people have fear of exposure. I mean, I get it. Like, you know, there's always those things we've done that we've not been happy about, or there's things that we're afraid of, you know, that we don't want the world or people to know that this is our fear. But I think it's just sometimes taking the risk of sharing, especially if it's like on your mind, on your heart, you know, in the group setting, you know, it's like trying to get it out. And I think that's huge, like having that fear to really expose yourself. Where did he say? Reese says true vulnerability is sharing with women, then having her never use it against you in an argument or fight. You know, and I sat there thinking, right? If it's brought up, is it necessarily being used against you, or possibly just used in the context of something that like you planning on doing? It's like, Kadeem, how you gonna do that working out in the dark when you know you're afraid of the dark? You know, like if you say, you know, I'm not using it against you, I'm just pointing out something you said to me. You said, you know, you know, you and the intimate, you know, wife are talking, like you said earlier that you're afraid of dark. Now you're gonna go outside at night, like you know. So it's just, I think context matters. I'm not excusing a spouse because that can go both ways. A woman can do it, a man can do it. But it's the context. You know, if I bring it up, it doesn't mean I'm weaponizing it. I'm just bringing context to our conversation. Let's bring.
My back has for the past.
We in the meeting. Let me give you a second. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, my brother. Morning, my brother.
Happy Wednesday. Sorry I'm late, y'all.
Oh, you good. You good.
We used to it.
That was, you know, Kadeem on fire today. Kadeem is on fire today.
Fire! I'm on fire.
I
blame my mother. She called me this morning. That's all.
There we go.
My mother and my oldest daughter, both of them called me.
Nice.
Yeah, she had a comment that we never did get, man.
Yeah, I was waiting.
Because we covered it yesterday. She was asking about Tyree Nichols.
Tyree Nichols.
Yeah, the young man in Memphis that got beat down by those 5 police officers in Memphis.
Oh, with the paramedic and okay, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, like what sense did it make? It just makes no sense. So that's a whole nother conversation.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, they did it. It was like a Rodney King beat down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been following that for a year.
And it was 5 black police officers.
Right. I mean, yeah.
You know, they got their pictures posted all over.
Right.
The news media, everywhere.
Let's see.
Same day it came out.
Wait.
Sorry, I'm not here to bring anybody down. I apologize.
No, you're good. We'll definitely dig into that. So, well, let me get Reese's comment, then I'll get Rich's, because Rich is a little more seriously said. Reese says, "Okay, I'm going to go first. I have a strong fear of small people, if you know what I mean. He said, think Wizard of Oz and Willy Wonka.
Oh, wow. So you said a little person to run you off. That's what you said.
Right. We got to let's dig into that. Why, brother? Why?
Oh, man.
Wow.
Well, I guess everybody got their feel something.
Right. Some of them like the clowns, you know.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what I think the only thing I got to feel is prison.
I think I'm gonna say I think we all, especially as black men, fear that one. Fear prison.
Yeah. Well, other than that, as far as well, I guess that would go with police interaction. So,
right.
They can't have one without the other, right?
See the blue lights. It's a fear of blue lights. I got a fear.
Yeah. So I guess that bring it back to the origin of the whole situation. Yeah, police. I guess that's what it is.
That's your fear. I'm not too keen on like snakes. I don't like snakes. I've had a fear of dogs too. Like I don't like dogs like that. I got two. Just for clarity. Yeah, I'm not.
That's super weird.
Like I don't like. Let me put it this way. I distrust a dog before I trust a dog. If that makes sense. So if I go to your house, you might have a poodle on the. I don't trust that dog until we got to work on trusting. That's my thing. Like you start running towards me, I'm running away. I gotta go. I gotta go.
I think it wasn't your idea to have dogs.
You're so perceptive, my brother.
You had to bow down to the will of the family.
I got.
I understand. Well, I'm not
puppy dog eyes from everybody. Like, come on,
dog here, because I know how my kids is. They ain't gonna take care of them, so I ain't getting no dog, no cats, no.
I mean, now they do now, like as far as walking and feeding and stuff like that. So they are now. When they got them, they were smaller, especially the dogs like getting Brooklyn pit bulls. She was a puppy, but she was too big for them to really handle at the time. So knowing that.
Oh, so Sam got you a dog.
Yeah, right.
They have nothing to do with the kids.
Let's see. They can. Oh, he said he can do dangerous things at that height. All right, I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna put you in timeout right now, Reese. Jeff comment. I'm gonna leave y'all alone. He said, "Yeah, I got a fear of metal bars and rooming with a guy named Baba. I guess Bubba."
I have a treat for you, AD.
Uh-oh.
You said I don't like when you said I don't like snakes. You made me think about this song from the 70s. Do y'all remember Jim Stafford? Spiders and Snakes.
What?
Watch this.
Oh, come on.
What?
Oh God, I ain't never heard that song.
There it is. Jeff knew.
Hey, that further lets you know about Mr. Brian McCrory's upbringing. I'm just letting you know. Mom McCrory, I'm going to say you had nothing to do with his exposure to that song. I'm sure you had nothing to do with that. That was his rebellious streak back in the day. Right. I'm going to listen to Frogs and Snakes. I'm sure.
It was on the radio.
It was your selection of radio stations back in the day.
I'm about to say that too. We're digging deep with Kaneem. We're going deep.
What's up, Phil? Now you are being vulnerable at this.
Next to Moses. You gotta be next to Moses to remember that one. Right. He said we are liberals.
Defend me, mother. Defend me.
I don't think Mama
So
Corey
probably
had nothing to
passing
do.
out. Okay.
Yeah, listen, of course my mother has something to do with that.
Okay.
We had Barbra Streisand, we had the Carpenters, the albums, we had all of that. We had a wide variety of music growing up.
Okay. Hey, you know your childhood. I can't doubt it.
Yeah.
You know your job.
Yeah.
He said two of us like that song.
I can't doubt it.
I was like, never heard that song ever.
Hey,
Ever.
my cousin on here, Philip is on here. Philip, no, WLS, WJPC, WGCI, you Oh,
man,
Reese,
I grew up on
they
that.
ain't never played on our stations, Reese, right? We ain't never heard that song on our stations.
I didn't have that exposure, so
Right. I didn't either. He said, "Help us out, Phil." Help.
Hey, Philip know his cousin. See, Philip is my second cousin. He's my mom's first cousin.
Okay.
So, yeah, his mother was my great aunt.
That's hilarious.
Okay, so Philip listened to us, Frogs and Snakes too. Okay.
No, he didn't. No, Philip didn't. He ain't gonna know that song. Philip ain't gonna know that song.
Oh man.
But I'm thinking back to my, being transparent.
Right, let's go.
Transparent.
Let's go.
I think back to my childhood. My mother never listened to country music. She never listened to pop music. It was. She never listened to gospel music. It was all R&B.
Wow.
So that's all I that's all I grew up with. Motown and it just went on from now. You know what I'm saying? Like 60s, 70s, 80s. It was all R&B. So you take me back. That's where I'm going. You know what I'm
we
saying?
had it all, man. But we was, our city was real diverse, man.
Well, I mean, Houston was diverse. I mean, it was Hispanic, white, Asian. I mean, we got Chinatown, and I mean, we had a lot of diversity. But I guess it was just our little piece of Houston that we never really ventured out from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I didn't go when I was in grade. Well, until I got to eighth grade. I was in all black everything, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Until I got to that age of eighth grade, high school, that's when it kind of opened up to be exposed to Asians and Hispanics and whites and Native Americans, and because I had my high school was super diverse.
Gotcha. That's nice. I grew up all black, black everything. Black high school, black on black. This is every black. I had a Hispanic about that much, in our area, and he said any short. Oh well, yeah, they didn't. They weren't in my neighborhood though. But it's just so. My listening was jazz, like John Coltrane, to like Nat King Cole, and my mother's Jehovah's Witness, and if you know anything about Jehovah's Witness, they have their own album selection of music. It's like
the worst music in the world.
It's elevator music. It's just it's elevator music. No words.
I'm like, look, ain't no God in that.
It's just elevator. It's you want to hear some music? Okay, you got to play this. It's like. You feel like there's probably some subliminal messages because it's just background music.
That music can serve as torture for captured enemies. Just put some headphones on and force them to listen to that music.
Right. He said they were strict, weren't they?
Yeah. Now I'm not saying Jehovah's Witnesses don't have a relationship with God. I'm saying he ain't in their music.
And that music is just that music don't move nothing. Ain't no soul in the soulless. That music just she's just waking up playing it. So I'm like, okay, no beats, nothing. Just can't nod your head to it or nothing.
No.
But yeah, so that's our growing ups, being vulnerable, right, and transparent about some of the things that we listen to. Or even, it's funny. I can't. Okay, so did you turn your volume up, Kaneem? Because it's like the echo. You need to touch it. I don't know. It's maybe I'm talking louder. Really? What do you say?
Oh, now you want to hear what I got to say?
Nah, not really. I'm just gonna do that. And you know it's getting good. So, listen, we appreciate you guys for being here, rocking with us at Brothers of Legacy. Listen, all the support you guys coming through, my faithful few that hang out with us every single day. I don't take it for granted because you guys be watching anything, listening to anything, but you're here with us. And today we're talking about being vulnerable. And I was saying verse transparency, but it's all one and the same. Whereas, or just another level, like transparent, you kind of talk about certain things, and vulnerability, you mentioned the things that are closest to your heart, I think. Because you know, there's certain levels of vulnerability, like you can talk about, what your children going through, because people don't talk about when it gets hard. It's kind of like, I really don't want to share that part. Like, because I'm gonna keep it real as a parent. You just feel like, is it my failing that they're this way? Did I have a misstep in teaching them something? What up, Terry? Or did they just, they just became this? I couldn't do nothing about it. It's always that thought. So talking about children but getting vulnerable about feeling like, did I fail? Am I failing as a parent? Because I know I'm not the only one that goes through those moments like, man, am I failing at this? Am I getting this thing wrong? And especially the fact that I'm, like you guys, like you're in the house. I'm right here. Like I'm holding it down. Society say I'm doing a good job. Like, why it seem like these kids are still crazy, And let me ask you this. Have you ever compared as a parent? Ever like, man, why can my children do such and such, and not like hard, but you just like, how can I, like if a kid came up and recited the whole Bible, like, can my child remember the whole Bible? Just done something, just like, man, how does kid do this? And if you look at the parent, like, I'm smarter than him. So can we keep it real? Can we have a moment right now? Have you ever compared? Have you guys ever? And you got to talk about specifics of what you see. Just like, have you just ever compared? And all stage and one of the stages.
Yeah, I
have we compared our children?
Huh?
You said, have we compared our children to other people's children at certain stages?
At certain stages.
I've compared. I've critiqued. I didn't even say compare. I've critiqued other people's kids.
Okay.
Like, boy, that bad. You need a whooping like right now.
Oh, I mean, I think all of us done that one.
But you're saying like, ooh, I wish my child was more like that child.
Something, or I wish he could do that thing. Like, you may not be like, I want him to be like him or her, but man, I wish they could do that thing.
Nah,
I've never done that.
Not for me. Yeah, no, I ain't never done that. I'm more critical of seeing kids and how they act, because I go right back to the parent. Like, why is your baby on the floor throwing a tantrum with slop out their mouth?
That's the slop.
Yeah, like in public. So if I see it, it's in public. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Yeah, I've said things like, I would hate to see my children doing something like that.
Right. The bad stuff.
I've done that. Yeah.
Right.
But I've never I've compared my children to each other.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But I don't think I've never said you need to be more like your brother, or you need to be more like
no, never listen. I'm never out loud.
But definitely, I
like in your head,
how did how both of those came from my loins? Y'all, I've done that. Okay. I need to let me do a DNA check on this one. I've done that.
I got
you.
Yeah. All right.
I've done that.
Let's see. Jeff said, my son told me years later he was making Molotov cocktails and chucking them down our driveway. Wow. I was wondering why it was black at the end of the driveway.
Yeah. Now see something like that. You know, that you're justified in saying, why can't you be more like the neighbor's child?
Yeah. If you
not just tossing the glass, but glass with fire in it.
Yeah, if you're filling up glass bottles with a flammable substance and chunking it down the driveway, yeah, you should be a little bit.
We could have some justifiable comparisons.
That situation.
Hey, Sam.
I would be concerned about that also, Jeff. I'm glad he made it to adulthood.
Right.
But how many interactions with law enforcement or violence to another individual? Wow. That's almost like killing.
Wait, hold on. Pause for a second. If I'm sitting here watching, I don't know your son's name, little Carlin, throw because I got a driveway in front of me. I just imagining at one end of the driveway, just tossing them. Like,
okay, so full transparency.
Yeah.
I've attempted Molotov cocktails.
Oh,
Mama McCory.
She don't know. She didn't know.
I know.
Okay.
I figured that.
All right.
But you know, I'm a boy. I don't know what boys haven't done that.
Yeah. Here you go.
This is number 2. I told you my fire with the toilet paper. I was like, oh, I'm done. I retired out of fire. I stopped messing
because that takes preparation. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you just went and pick this up and be like, okay.
Oh yeah, let's go. Right.
Like I had a buddy that actually came up on some grenades and we threw the grenades. You know what I'm saying? Like we exploded some stuff, but that was not preparation.
Man.
You ain't got a bottle. You ain't got some fluid. You ain't got a rag.
We went and got alcohol. Alcohol.
The rubbing alcohol.
Silly us. Yes. Poured it in a bottle.
Okay.
Stuffed a rag in it.
Okay.
Lit it on fire. Tried to throw it and see if it would explode. We did that out behind our house on the YWCA parking lot.
I guess it just alcohol and the fire went out.
Nothing happened. We didn't get an explosion. Nah, but we tried several things.
Yeah.
He said, Sam said, we know she didn't know because you still here, right? That's a hot that is just like.
So you guys didn't do the firecrackers with the frogs and all that?
We did
the firecrackers, but
we did the firecrackers.
You didn't put the firecrackers inside the frog's mouth and
no.
I never tortured any animals.
No.
Creatures.
Frogs are considered animals.
They're creatures. You got to protect them all, there, buddy. You're on your own in that one. No, I never. No, like I had a friend that he stuck it in some a firecracker in some poop and tried to run.
You never tried to prove.
He was like this.
You never tried to prove a cat could land on his feet.
Yes, I witnessed it. I was probably more of an accomplice to that.
Yeah,
but I never
you spin them.
I just spin them.
They land.
Yeah.
Forgive us, y'all. Forgive Peter. See? Don't come for us.
I've proven that theory. Cats always land on their feet.
They do, no doubt, because they did it like 3, boom, bang. I don't know. The cat didn't.
Listen, we were children. We were children. We are not. I know I'm against cruelty to animals.
Yes, 100%.
So look at it, Mom. I'm telling you can't tell on me out here.
Yeah. There you go, Mama Corner.
All right.
Fire inside the house. Yeah, there you go. You was a little pyro back in the day, wasn't you?
I was.
He was infatuated with fire back in the
day. He said, Jeff, call and tell your son not to come see me. There's plenty of room in the inn. I know.
I do remember that. I probably was like about 9, 10. and me and this dude, we was in it was like a little wooded area in our behind our apartment complex, and we was out there playing the matches and set the little fire, and the whole wooded area just caught on fire. It was a blaze,
Wow.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And fire department came, this, that, and third. And the dude who I was out there with told on me and brought the fire department and the police to my house.
Wow.
And
Wow.
my mom was like, "What? Huh? What?"
Wow.
Hey, but I mean, I was that young, so you know, wasn't nothing done. But the fact that, you know what I'm saying, the whole little forest caught on fire was crazy.
Jeff, it was the summertime when I lit that fire. The last time I lit a fire inside of the house, because the time my mom is talking about was the last time it ever happened. Right. Because that was the day she caught me. Yeah. Well, she didn't catch me. Well, the evidence gave it away.
Right.
I didn't clean up everything.
You got you comfortable.
Yeah, I got you comfortable.
Yeah.
She, you know, it was like Remember the Titans. She was like, make them remember the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
One time only, you know.
Yeah. I remember the day my mom figured out I was lighting fires in the house. Yeah, I remember the day.
Wow.
Yeah. She could have went to jail that day.
Jesus. Yeah. So yeah, we put M80s on what's that thing? The sewer lids. We blew those off.
Sewer lid.
Yeah.
Man,
actually,
that's all.
Yeah, we listen.
M80. You limited
M80.
an M80 to a sewer lid. That's
Yeah,
it. That's all
it.
you did.
That's
The
it.
M80.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
My fear level was I didn't want to lose my hand. So,
oh man,
because at first I was like,
we never even considered the possibility of blowing your hand off.
yeah, that's like, it was my thought. I was like, I felt like I'm losing my. What's up?
Do y'all remember the Roman candles?
Yes,
sir.
I got stories for that too.
Hey, me and all my cousins. Now imagine there's like 10 of us out there now.
Yeah,
and we got teams.
Oh,
and we light the Roman candles, shoot them at each other.
Right. Yeah, we chased some folks with them. Yeah, we chased some people. I was part of that. I was thinking back later, like I could have probably set them folks on fire.
Yeah,
we tried to hit cars with them.
But yeah, I'm talking about we was terrible. I was terrible. We was terrible.
We sit back in the cut behind a tree and wait for a car to come through the intersection, and we try to time it.
Oh man, yeah. I've done that with slingshots.
Yeah. Shoot them at each other. Foolish.
Yeah. We were bad.
Yeah.
But you know, back in those days, you know, you went outside at 9 o'clock in the morning,
right, all day,
and you were back in the house before the street lights came on, and you went around the world in a day.
Right.
We got into so much stuff.
So much.
Between 9 and 8.
So much.
Yeah. Like my mother had no idea what we were up to.
Listen, hip hop saved my life. Hip hop saved
You're the
my
reason
life.
why that bumper sticker, do you know where your children are?
It's 9 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?
Yeah,
New York, that was the commercial you got. The thing, it's 9 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?
For real.
Yeah.
Like,
I think we're the reason why we're the reason why they did away with the latchkey program.
But stop letting them kids come on by themselves.
You put the key around your baby's neck.
Right. Right. And listen, Sam is right. He said those are the glory years. Now I don't even want my kids touching them. Right. Exactly. Right. But I think because we were so bad. It's like I can't.
We weren't bad. We were just curious.
Okay. Right. Well, shoot them at the car. Shoot them at the car. Shoot them at the car. Curious. Shoot them at the car. Let me see if you bounce off. Let me see if you hit it.
Come on now, you know good and well. Back
maybe
in the
I
day,
can shoot it through the window.
Those cars, those back in the day,
they were tanks. You're right.
Thank you. You couldn't do anything to hurt those cars back in the day.
That's true.
Nothing.
You can't really put a dent in them. You're right, 100%. I will agree with you on that. You know, He said, hold on. My mom made an addendum to that sticker. Yeah, I gave him away. Oh, man, kids. I know we was rough. We went outside. You're right. I don't know. It's terrible. Right. Listen, this is it. We had too much idle time. The idle mind is a devil's workshop.
Well, this was before handheld devices.
Oh yeah,
came out, right? Those what was it? The game
Game Boy.
Game Boy. This was before Game Boy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this was all we had at the time. I think was Atari.
Oh yeah.
Boop. Yeah, remember Atari? Yeah, Pong. Boop. Remember Pong? Yeah.
Dang.
That was it. We thought we was doing something.
Right. But okay, so fine. I guess I have no excuse. We had the Game Boys. We had the Sega Genesis. We had the stuff inside. But
yeah, see, by the time that stuff came out, I was already in high school.
We were still outside being mischievous. I'm finished. We played this game long enough. Let's go outside. Let's go destroy something.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Right. But I always say, like, yeah, I just had the opportunity to like go in the studio, make some music. You know, ain't a lot come out of it, but it kept us busy. We were busy. Our 9 in the morning to late at night.
See, that's music. New York, man. New York is entertainment capital, entertainment city, you know, and we were in Kankakee. Come on, man. The highlight of the year was the rodeo, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't know they had the rodeo up there in Illinois. That's interesting.
Yeah, Hopkins Park.
I never heard of it.
Oh, man. You do the history. Hopkins Park is the original. You want to talk about some real cowboys. It's Hopkins Park, Illinois.
Wow.
Yeah.
You need to come down there to Houston, Texas.
Nah, y'all need to come to Hopkins Park.
You
see, Houston, you have an expectation of cowboys in Texas. You do not have an expectation of cowboys in Illinois.
But
to come and see how they were doing it would have been really impressive. That's what I'm saying. Because we had it all. That was an event.
So Jeff said,
like to this day, we still got mounted police.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Like if you go to Houston, you still will see police riding a horse downtown.
Well, that's because they still feel like slavery shouldn't have been abolished.
That's good. That was good. That was good. Never forget. Never forget. Jeff said,
look, it wasn't too long ago that I saw those mounted police walking a black man up the street. They were on horses and he was on foot.
Right.
Right. Okay. All right.
Jeff said, I used to hide in the bushes and hook gravel at passing cars. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
He said till one guy got out his car and started screaming he was going to do bad things to us if he found us. He said, I got real scared.
Yeah.
See, in our neighborhood, it would have been really dangerous to stop and get out of the car.
Oh, you bad. Throw the rocks at him.
That's how we was. Brian. We was doing them slingshots. And dude, actually, we had a couple people actually get out the car, but we were behind a gate. You know what I'm saying? So they'll run up to the gate. Well, we're behind the gate. Hey, all of us, it probably about 5 or 6 of us. Man, that was your fault for getting out that car. Now we're gonna hit you with all the slingshots.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You're asking to be hit if you get out of the car.
Yeah,
let the car get hit. But if you get out, you're getting hit. Yeah.
We know.
But the fun part for us was
let me get out that gate.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, but see that
you can't hop the gate because we can't hop the gate.
Right. But that was the fun part. We would wait. Like there was instances where someone would get mad and they come towards us. We wait till they got really close, and then we take off running because we knew we could outrun them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we knew we knew we was going to inflict pain.
I
told you guys the story about the air rifles and the old man and us getting caught by my mom. Right? Did I tell you guys that story? We had some friends. We had these little air rifles. You know, you cock the rifle and
right. And you shot somebody.
So we were up, like my mom worked. So the way our house was positioned, it was on the backside of the YWCA. and a daycare center and a health spa.
Right.
And the YWCA was at the corner of a major intersection and a side street. Court Street is the main thoroughfare in Kankakee, and Elm Street was the corner of where my house was, right off that corner. And so we were up at the on the main thoroughfare, Court Street, with these air rifles, and this old man started coming down the street walking really slow. And we all looked at each other and we're like, hey, let's go after this old man. And we started trailing behind this old man, and we were like popping in and out of the trees and the bushes and stuff. It was about 4 or 5 of us. And he turned around and looked at us, and he noticed that we were following him, and he started walking a little faster, and we were jumping out, making noises and holding the rifles, and we popped the rifles a little bit, and he started this little trot, and then we started trotting behind him, and then he started to try to run. And man, out of nowhere, my mom saw us. I guess they had the children outside on the playground. My mother saw us chasing this old man, and all she did was come out of the YWCA, come through the gate, come across the parking lot, and cut through our yard. And she caught us coming past the front of our house, chasing this old man. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. She said, what in the blankety blank y'all doing? It was a bad day for us. It was a bad day for my friend Quavy. It was a bad day for Troy. It was just a bad day. It was a bad day.
Working with the butt of that gun.
No, the thing is, I think that the worst part of it was getting caught, because we didn't get a whipping that day.
Wow.
We got a verbal bashing, and Troy and Quay, everybody ran home. Everybody ran to their houses.
Of course.
Right. And she went back to work, and we just kind of stayed in the house for the rest of the day, waiting. It's the countdown. The whipping is coming.
The anticipation, that's the worst.
Yeah, you're in the house trying to clean up, wash the dishes.
We're gonna make this house nice when she get home.
Oh man. That old man could have had a heart attack, y'all. I didn't oh man, it was
wow.
What were you thinking? Obviously, we weren't thinking, mother.
Right. That's obviously I wasn't really thinking.
Those were the days, man. Those were the days. But the stories that we have, man, from childhood. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So much wrong. So much wrong.
Yeah.
Right. So we're gonna get ready to get out of here. It says styrofoam balls spaced about 6 feet apart, and cars would stop and sit them. Oh, he said sit them back up, then back up. Oh, wow.
I love that. I love that.
It's strung out.
I know. Listen, I had to get Jesus. I had to. I told y'all, look, y'all don't understand. It was necessary for me to find the Lord.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
All right. So listen, we appreciate you guys for rocking with us and hanging with us. Another edition of Brothers of Legacy. Make sure you share, let everybody know that we are on Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Same time, same channel. 988. If you or someone you love is having a mental health crisis, they're having a workshop about 988. Hopefully I didn't miss it. I might share it so you guys can check it out, get some extra information. It says 988 is more than just a number. so definitely get more education about it. Thank you, Mama Corey. Appreciate it. We said, Jesus wasn't worried about saving. He was saving everybody.
He was like, no, he looked at him like, I'll get them. I'll catch up with them later.
right. Wow. So again, we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Make sure you stay connected. Text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576. Never miss what's going on with the Legacy Walking Network. Okay, if all hearts and minds are clear, everybody's good. Awesome. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here. We appreciate you guys being here, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.